you feeling?
I'm alright, man. You know, life be life and all that. It's 2025. Yeah,
2025. We made it to a new year.
Like a new year, dogs. It's a blessing every single time. You know, I don't take it for granted whatsoever. You know, but every start of the year always puts a reminder for me that I just gotta be on the grind. You know, it's like, I wouldn't say it's a fresh new start because it's like we're still living each year. Like, you know, your problems last year is gonna follow your problems this year. The only thing is how you gonna tackle it this year.
Right. For sure, that's the same energy I'm on. Like, zero tolerance this year, and really, I feel like with every year you really have to take in account what you did that last year. Look at it with gratitude no matter what, because you made it to this new year, and just lock in, bro. Like, I know that's a cliche kind of like buzz term nowadays, lock in, but really though, like locking in, like fully, putting the phone down, like just really just get into whatever you're interested in and whatever fulfills you. I think that's the move, bro. So
that's a fact. Well, let's talk about how you feel like the last year has ended for you and where you see yourself, you know, moving forward from now.
Last year ended cool, man. Like, I felt that like the holidays nowadays, being an adult, it's kind of bittersweet because I be looking at kids. It's really about the kids, bro. And I realized I feel that more so much now in my core as an adult. I felt it for like the last late 20s, going into 30s type shit, but I feel it more so now just because of the pressures that come with the holidays. It's not even relaxing as it was back in the day. But I feel good though. Like, I look back on the last year and what we've been able to build. Like, we put out a project for me last year. We started your villain arc. We successfully like started whatever this is. You feel me? So shout out to whatever this is. You feel me? And CBX and everything that we doing. I feel I constantly felt so much energy, like trying to go against like whatever we was trying to do, and that's how I know we was doing the right thing. You feel me? So whenever it feels like tough and difficult, that's when I know, like, alright, yeah, we doing the right thing. So that's my mood. Last year was difficult as fuck, but we persevered, and we here starting off a new year fresh and ready to get to work.
Yeah.
So what about you, Brody? How you looking at last year?
Last year as a whole was solid. The way it ended could be better. You know, at the end of the day, that's life. And I take, you know, every circumstance, every situation that I'm in was tried to focus on the positives of things. And there was a lot of positives about last year. So I can't knock all the negatives as well. You gotta have I guess, unfortunately, a healthy balance. A healthy balance, I guess, of both. But yeah, like you said, like you brought up, like the music-wise was great for me. You know, like on our end, the amount of work that we did together was amazing. Me starting school, you know, that was a huge goal for me. And I'm still in it now, like the fact that like I'm still going with my 4.0 and like, you know, trying to...
Shout out to the 4.0 clean record.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I'm trying, you know. I feel like a nerd right now type shit. But nah, like it's for a better cause for sure. You know, like we was able to accomplish a lot of things because of that. We learned so much because of that. Whatever knowledge that I was able to hold, I was able to pass down little by little, just to make sure everybody on the team, everybody else is like just as strong. Because I want, and just like how you taught me things with like the photography and like how to like, you know, like videos and all that shit. That's that was a big step for me last year. You know, it's like learning to be able to be more behind the scene. You know, that's more your specialty. So, you know, I had to take a page out of your book a little bit on that. And
that's love.
Yeah. But it's only right because like I appreciate you for even stepping out and like, cause like you said, like, you know, you'd rather be behind the scenes, but you stepped in the light to be able to share that light with me at times. You know, like before the collabs that we do, being able to, you know, show these niggas that we really like that.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of like that, coming off a crazy year of music. I'm so excited for all the music that we're potentially getting this year. You know, I feel like we're in for a crazy year of music, including us. Mm-hmm. But we coming off an incredible year of music. Man, I mean, we already know the two big names that everybody's talking about right now. But how you feel about music last year? The music that you have listening to? I know we was making a lot, so we didn't have as much time to consume music as we would have liked to. Mm-hmm. But what were some of your favorites from last year again? I know off the bat for me, I was feeling Chief Keef's album. I was bumping that, like Almighty So too. I was bumping that heavy rotation last year. And then my not honorable mentions, but besides Keef, like, you know, I was bumping Tyler heavy. I was bumping Doechii. I discovered Doechii last year, like heavy, like, so a lot of good music came out of last year for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't get to hear Chief Keef's song. I had to run and play that myself. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie, like I ain't even listened to a lot of much mainstream music last year. I ain't even gonna hold you. I did listen to Doechii shit, phenomenal. You know, I listened to M shit, which was dope. You know, also there was somebody else that I listened to. I listened to Tyler's shit a little bit, but I didn't really get to like tap in fully on that. But there was somebody else I listened to, but I can't even remember the top of my head because I was so locked in mainly to be surprised. I was kind of tapping into more like older music. You know, I actually wanted to challenge myself as an artist and like listen to different generations and, you know, like go back into the culture of things and the roots of how things started. So I listened to people like B.B. King and like Miles Stone and what's this other guy's name? Dorothy Fisher.
Okay.
It was a couple of heads. I can't even remember a lot of the top of my head, but a lot of people from like the 1960s, 1950s. You know, like when things like really was like, not to get into that type of like, you know, talk, but yeah, I wanna be able to, you know, learn from not just this modern age, but
yeah, for sure. You see a lot of that coming out of your music recently or in the future, just all the influences?
For sure, probably in the future, you know, especially on the jazz side, for sure. I was able to learn a lot about like folk music, country music, you know, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of blues. Like, I didn't even know, like, it's kind of crazy, like a lot of people don't even know like what R&B stands for, you know, rhythm and blues and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, that was very interesting to me, and it's just like, some things are just right in your face and you don't even know. And like, it was cool to see like how it came to be, and I want to be able to reflect that on my own music. Yeah,
for sure. And then you did start dropping some heat rocks towards the end of the year, man. Like your villain arc has been going nuts, man. What's your favorite one so far off that villain arc?
Oh man, to be honest, it might have to be Discreet. Only because I can. That's something that I can relate to for sure. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like for the last, I don't want to put a real time on it, but for a little period of time now in my life that I've been a little MIA, you say.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I've been able to move more currently the way that I want to move that way instead of being more in the limelight. I don't want to pop out unless it's necessary.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of people like to just stay in the limelight and all that stuff, and that's just never been my character. I've always been one to just, even for like when it comes to social media and stuff, it's like I know a lot of people like to take pictures, do like with every outfit that they get as soon as they get it and all that stuff. Like, but I'm the type of nigga. It's like, yo, you wanna see me? You can see me when I pop out.
Yeah, for sure. We also got a lot of music coming out from the team, man. We got Quest coming out. We have Scatterbrain coming out real soon. We got y'all single Commotion coming out real soon. And I don't know, man. Quest got a lot of music, bro. So there could be a second, third, fourth, fifth project in that mix. But shout out Quest, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Quest. I know this was last year, but tell me about how did you feel about working on your first project and when it actually dropped, and you know, having the people in your life like that, you get to see that side of you the first time. You know, probably in a long time.
Yeah, nah, for sure. That was I still haven't like really fully took it in yet. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like always on to the next thing. Yeah. So that first project, By Any Means, coming out in September, it was so dope to do because even the project being called By Any Means, we really had to bust our ass to put that project out despite everything going on, which is the consensus of last year. So I love it. I don't want to toot my own horn, but everybody told me that there's no skips on that. So that's a good feeling as an artist to know that we put our time and energy into that and everybody vibes with it, of course, you know. I listen to it now and I feel like there's a high level of rapping and artistry on there. And I love that for us. I love that for the team. I love that I was able to get both you and Quest on a record. All three of us. That's our first record that we did together. All three of us together. So it's super dope, man. I love it. It's a great project. It's definitely tougher than I thought it would be to actually like put it out, do the promotion behind it, do all the stuff outside of the music. It was way tougher than I ever thought it was gonna be. So definitely going into whatever the second project is gonna be or whatever is the future from Dizzy Reid. It's like, it's definitely a learning experience. So I'm very proud of what I was able to do, and I'm so happy that everybody's rocking with it.
Sure. Yeah, man. Honestly, it was an honor to really be a part of that, for sure. And thank you again for just let everybody know that was literally my first project that I ever worked on.
Budha Sage.
You know? So,
he literally mixed and mastered my whole project, like first time, like.
Yeah, so that's a lot of trust and love. You know, that's kind of like going to a barber for the first time, getting a lineup. You feel me?
Oh,
yeah. Like,
oh, D. So let's talk sports, Brody. So, man, it's such a good time. Like, we in January right now, and it's probably my favorite time of the year because we in the thick of football season. Like, we about to get right into the playoffs. It's wild card weekend. NBA, we're going into All-Star weekend next month, as well as trade deadline, and then college hoops is just everybody bugging right now. So it's a great time in sports right now. We can start off with women's basketball. Coming off a heater game. Like we're a couple of weeks behind on this, but coming off a heat rock game. USC versus UConn. That 72-70 win for USC on December 21st. Juju was wild in that game, as per usual. She dropped 25 on their head tops. And man, the future's just looking bright, bro. Juju broke the freshman record last year. She's on pace to make even more history this year. Paige Buckers on the other side from UConn, like this being her last year. Does she get it done? with UConn this year, and then possible, where does she land in the WNBA going forward? There's just a lot to talk about as far as women's hoops, man. How you feeling about it?
It's a beautiful time for women's basketball. I'm not gonna lie. For the last, I can say, year, it has been blossomed to much more than it's ever been in a long time. Mainly for all the talent that we see that's coming out to college. Obviously everybody knows about Angel Reese and Kaylin Clark and a bunch of other names. Shout out to Asia Wilson, for being women MVP of the WNBA with that. But also just shout out to all the young talent that's coming out here too. They're really putting on for their cities, their schools. And like you said, Juju Watson, she is something else. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't had my too much share to watch her, but every time I see her, she has displayed incredible talent. And the fact that she's only 19 years old is crazy. Like the ceiling is ridiculously high for her. I see her easily, making big noise when she gets to the WNBA. And the fact that she's putting on for the USC, it's incredible. Right now they're looking good. They're at a 15-1 record. That last encounter that she had with Paige, crazy game. Showed that why she got to be one of the tops. But shout out to Paige too, though. I don't want to give all the credit to Juju. Paige has always been a really great name. She's a household name. Very talented. She's on the older side. She's 23 years old, but she's still giving everything that she possibly can in every game. Even though she lost that game going against USC with Juju, she still put up great numbers. She still had 20 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. For a solid game like that. And then one thing I actually wanted to point out about that time, both teams was, I think, 10-1 or 11-1 at the time.
Yeah. And
the funny thing about it is, UConn was considered 4th in the seed, and USC was considered 7th for the seed. That just goes to show the dynamic of how much skill it is around the league, because the fact they have the same exact record, but they're 3 different seeds apart.
I'm telling you, women's hoops, bro. The women are balling, and everybody got to get on notice. Everybody has to get on notice and respect the fact that they're legitimate contenders. And so I'm happy with not only the WNBA, but where college women's basketball is at, and just women's basketball in general. It's a great look for young girls coming up to idolize these women and make something out of themselves one day.
One thing, shout out again to Paige Becker. She wasn't able to play the last game, but luckily, well, not even luckily, her team was able to get it done without her. Actually, in phenomenal fashion.
Yeah.
They actually beat the Xaviers by 54 points, 81-27.
That made me miss school. I ain't gonna lie. That made me miss school sometimes. I remember playing football in high school, and we used to clap teams 50-10 or something like that.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So when I see that in that high of a level of a collegiate level, a professional level, I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
And that just goes to show, when you have a solid team, when your best players out and they still get the job done by that much.
Right.
It says a lot about UConn, and but shout out to Paige. Hope she get back soon with her back. She had a lower back sprain.
Okay.
So
shout out Paige Buggers, man. Praise up for real. And then going back into Juju, going into her sophomore year, Paige being in her last year, being draft eligible this year. How do you feel about the current rules, or the rules that have been in place for a while, where women have to compete in all 4 years of college before they're draft eligible, versus men who could get the one and done nod?
I never was a fan of that rule, to be honest. I do feel like in the times that we live now, I would say that we'll be fortunate to see that subside and change, because it's fair to say that if you have a young talent coming out of high school that's just as talented as we see the people that's inside the professional, why not give them a chance, you know, to be honest.
Trying to tell you, man, to your point, we do have a lot of people on the men's side who have shown improved coming straight out of high school. You know, we got the legends like Bron, we got the legends like KG, Kobe. You know, obviously they eliminated that rule about 20 years ago, but even now with all the young kids getting their NIL deals and getting that experience going into the draft, you know, I do feel like we should ease up on the women a little bit more and let them hoop. Real talk, like let them hoop in the way that they want to, because there's so many barriers for them. Like that's so old-fashioned and old school, you know, and they killing.
For sure, but I do believe that it will change in the near future, sooner than later, because we're seeing a lot of change now with sports in every single category, with every single within the grades as well. Like just like with college wasn't getting the amount of shine and noise as it used to. You could say like 10 years ago, but now it's becoming more of a business. You know,
right.
And we're seeing actually, just for example, Bill Belichick, a Hall of Fame NFL head coach, going down to college football now.
Unheard of.
You know?
Real talk.
So it's like the business is buzzing. We got somebody like Deion Sanders that people say is NFL level caliber to be a head coach, but he chooses to stay in college. You know what I mean? Because the skill is completely different than it was a few years ago. You know, like the players that's coming out of every sport now are much better than the players it used to be. You know, due to all of the facility assets. You know, all the amenities everybody have, as far as the medicine, as far as the training, the camps,
right.
You know, not like the schools, right? Everything is leveled up.
Right. So we do have an alternative for the women now. Normally, I remember watching a little bit of women's hoops growing up and always wondering what they did during their off season. You know, I know a lot of the players used to go overseas, but now we have the Unrivaled League coming out next week. I think January 17th is the drop date. But we have the Unrivaled Women's 3x3 League founded by Breonna Stewart, WNBA champ, Go Liberty, and Nafisa Collier. So it's a possible alternative for women to hoop and then make some bread during the off season. How you feel about that league, man? I know Ice Cube's Big 3 League been making noise for a lot of years in the summertime, being an alternative for a lot of players who didn't get to age well in the NBA or getting that second opportunity. So I'm feeling this Unrivaled League, this 3x3 league for women, you know, especially at the top of the year where sports is at a height, everybody's tuning in, everybody's home. You know, I'm feeling it.
I feel it too. To be honest, I ain't really hear too much about it until recently, but for the little that I did hear, I feel like it's great for basketball, and especially mainly because just for women, it's just a good spot for them to showcase a little bit more about themselves and bring up more of the popularity and be able to get more views. Because we noticed last year that that was the biggest jump that they seen in view sponsorship. Mainly, obviously, we saw the talents that we had coming out of college, and the All-Star game really shoot for the roof too. You know, seeing the younger players, the older players play. So, and this is just another example for another platform for these women to showcase who they really are, show that they're just as athletes, just as the men. Right. And hopefully can push farther for them to at least be able to make more financial, stability for all of the players, right. And get higher contracts, higher endorsements, and maybe I hope that it will also push the NBA at that to be able to be a little more creative in their aspect, because we have been doing well with the NBA Cup. But a lot of people have been talking about the All-Star time, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But as far as the unrivaled, I think it's solid. 3-on-3s, I feel like it's really good. It really worked out for the in the Olympics. That was actually one of the first times that I seen that type of game, and I enjoyed it a lot. And that was on the men's side. I can't wait to see what the women do. And I also heard that as part as the unrivaled that goes on, there's like only like 6 teams, and I think starting next month they're actually having a 1-on-1 tournament before actually the 3-on-3 starts. So that's going to be really, really good. People have been talking about the NBA doing that for a while. So for the women basketball doing that, that's a really great surprise.
Yeah, I'm feeling that, man. Shout out to Unrivaled. Can't wait to see that for sure, man. Shout out to Angel Reese and Team Rose. Play your heart out, girl. You feel me? Prove everybody wrong. Real talk, we rooting for you.
Yeah.
No funny, man. Let's jump into NBA, bro. We talked about it earlier, but we had some heaters this week, bro. We had some definite heaters this week, bro. Like we gotta talk about your team. We gotta talk about one of your teams for sure. The Mavs without the stars beating on the Lakers, man. We have to talk about it. How'd you feel about that game on Tuesday?
I'm a Knicks fan, by the way. I'll explain myself.
Talk to me though, man. Talk to me. That was a crazy game on Tuesday.
The Mavs and the Lakers, man.
I feel like the Mavs definitely rotated the ball very well. Jason Kidd really got to display how deep the bench goes, and ironically, even without Luka and Kyrie, record-wise, the Mavs are in a similar spot to where they were last year. So I know we're talking a lot about OKC in the West, but I mean, don't sleep on the Mavs for real.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoy watching the Mavs. The Mavs have two of the best players, if not the best two backcourt inside the A right now. Obviously not talking about Tatum and Brown. They did it last year, so we gotta
go Celtics.
You know, crazy vibes. But as far as the Mavs, I really enjoy watching them. I watch them quite often. And the game that they had with the Lakers really showed that they have more pieces. And they're more in depth than people realize. And you know, everybody there depends on each other, and it's a real team effort. It's a real team win when it comes to them. Having somebody like PJ Washington really step up. Not gonna lie, he has surprised me in the last year or two. His numbers is going up. Great, they did right with giving him the contract that he deserved. Him going on with Clay, you know, being kind of the backbone, you know, being that vet as well. You know, like knowing that Kyrie and Luka is not there, he can be able to give them a little more of that presence, and also like be able to run the ball because he knows how to run the ball with great professional players, such as shout out Steph Curry and Draymond.
Right.
And also just being an all-star himself. You know, people forget how great Clay is at a time. And shout out Garfield. Garfield has been wilding.
Wow.
You know, shout out to Lively. You know, I've been telling everybody since his rookie year last year, he's been a steal, an absolute steal. And like, he's one of the reasons why the Mavs is even this good, because just 2 years ago they were saying what the Mavs lack is size, you know. And as soon as Lively got drafted, it was completely different identity. Crazy that they beat the Mavs. I mean, crazy that the Mavs beat the Lakers with, you know, LeBron still playing. But like I said, man, you know, that just goes to show, you know, especially when they're at home too, they can get the job done with the best of them.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Mavs, man. That same day, man, we had the Heat go over the Warriors, and what I thought would be like an easy dub for the Warriors, amidst like all the rumors we know going on around the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler right now. Bam led the charge that night with 19, 9, and 5, as well as 9 for 14 shooting from the field. On the other end, of course, we have our man Steph leading the charge with 31, 7 and 7. 11 and 22 for the field. But that was an interesting game. I know that the Heat had a double OT loss coming into that game, but they were able to beat the Warriors 114-98. It's looking pretty good for the Heat right now, as far as like that's a good W for them. But we gotta talk Jimmy Butler, bro. We gotta talk Jimmy Butler and then the trade rumors. Him asking for a trade, I don't think is crazy because of what he's been able to do. Like Jimmy, listen, I'm a Boston Celtics fan, man. I'm a Boston Celtics and a New York Knicks fan, which is like, I guess I gotta explain myself later too.
He got some explaining to do.
I got some real explaining to do, man. I'm from New York, you feel me? But I love the Boston Celtics, man. Like, yo, you could jump in my DM, you could, when you see me in the street, whatever, but I'm a Boston Celtics and a New York Knicks fan. I stand by that. So either way, I hate the Miami Heat, bro. Like, so because Jimmy has that jersey on, I gotta hate Jimmy in that jersey, but I love Jimmy as a player. And I feel like how he's been able to catapult the Heat into this position the last 5 years, bringing them to the finals, being a standout player. I don't see like the negative animosity towards him, especially from the Heat organization itself, on him asking for a trade.
Yeah, honestly, I love Jimmy Butler, but like you said too, like I dislike him because the fact that he's in the Heat and you already know what the Heat has done to us, and we need that give back.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I do. All jokes aside, I do fuck with the Heat too in the establishment. I feel like they're one of the most professional and best franchises in the league. That's why a lot of this do surprise me. Shout out to Pat Riley.
For sure.
However, I don't disagree with you when you say that I don't blame Jimmy for asking for a trade, especially for the last couple of years that he has been like religiously asking for another superstar to be able to take them to the promised land. He's already done it twice in the last 5 years, in Eastern Conference Finals 3 times. You know, as far as a record goes, that's very impressive because nobody realized how difficult it is just to make to the finals. And then to do it twice in 5 years, 3 times in the Eastern Conference. That's an impressive record, especially with the cast that he has. No shade to Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is a fantastic player, but let's be realistic though. He's a little under his size for his position.
Right.
I'll just say that. He'll be perfect for the 4. If he had somebody in the 5. A little bit taller, like a 7-footer, there'd be a real problem, but I digress. But as far as Jimmy Butler, yes, I do agree that he had the right to ask. However, though, in the light that he's in, it doesn't look good on him because he has a history in forcing himself out of situations such as out of teams where he hasn't been too happy, and it hasn't really been a good look on him as far as teams, because people don't want to keep doing business with somebody that wants to keep forcing his way out when something goes wrong. Not saying he was wrong this time, he's not, but it's just like, for example, if you see Draymond get into a fight with somebody, but the person hit him first, but he ended up just hitting him back because he protect himself. It's kind of like, well,
you send that person to Washington.
Yeah. That's crazy. I hope you landed that. Yo. That looks bad on Miami. At the end of the day, this is not all on Jimmy. A lot of this looks really bad on Miami. They're not handling the situation properly or as professional as they should, which that's why I said I'm in shock that this is even happening, because Miami is known for being one of the most professional franchises in sports, period.
Yeah.
So to have this on Pat Riley's name is a little odd. But you know, just like what Sham said, it's two alphas. You know, sometimes when you put two alphas in the same room, you know, it's things can get a little spicy.
True say. True say. And you also want to win at the end of the day. I think that's the bottom line on both ends. They just want to win.
True, but if that was the case, then why not Pat Riley have grabbed another superstar like Jimmy Butler been asking for the last couple of years if you truly want to win? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, everybody's saying it's not even about just the winning. It's really about money. Yeah. because everybody's saying if Pat Riley would have just signed Jimmy without holding off this whole entire time, like for an extension for the money that he was asking for, that been well deserved. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't even have this conversation. Everything's always about money.
Still, everything is about money in today's age, man. You don't know if somebody's gonna stay. The days of staying 20 years in the same uniform is way over. I mean, we got people talking about trades every damn day, it feels like, you know. So it's not just Jimmy. We also got Zach LaVine on the Bulls, who's been having back-to-back 30-point games, you feel me? Just trying to get his stock value up, it seems like.
Yeah,
but
sure.
You know, loyalty is rare in today's age, definitely. So that's why I like to see like the younger teams coming up together. Man, that was a NBA Finals caliber of a matchup that we saw against the Thunder last night. You know, the Cavs look so good. They look very deep in the way that they spread the ball and how they was running the offense through both Donovan and Darius. Man, it was a beauty to watch, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna lie. They actually now are looking a little dangerous. There was no fear in my heart with them before, but I ain't gonna lie. I might need some liquor coverage the next time we see them. Because, it's crazy to think how much of a whole of a team they are. Like, they must have really took getting clipped by the Knicks last season, like, personally.
For sure.
Shout out to my team for that, but I think we woke up a monster.
Yeah, for sure, man. Speaking of the Knicks, man, they had a great dub over the Raptors. You know, RJ and Emmanuel quickly returned to the Garden. Put up some decent numbers, but, you know, the Knicks were able to grab that dub. You know, shout out to Cat. You know,
as we should, my guy. I mean, all due respect. No. All due respect, but I don't respect the Raptors. You know, it's like, I'm not gonna hold you. Shout out to, you know, to IQ. You know, I was upset when, you know, my guy quickly ended up leaving the team. RJ not so much. He was an inconsistent type of guy. He didn't have too much of that. He had too much Canadian in him. I don't know, like that was just me. I know IQ Canadian too, but he had a little more, I don't know, a little more oomph to him. That was just me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like that's a win we're supposed to get. Honestly, the last 3 games, I'm not even gonna speak on that. We had a 3-game loss. I guess I am gonna speak on it. We had a 3-game loss. That should have happened, but unfortunately we had injuries. Jalen Brunson was out for a game. Cat was also out for a game. We was also tired from our back-to-back. So there was a couple of elements that came to play when it came to that. Before that, we was 9-0, going against the best team, was the best team in the league until yesterday, OKC, which I feel like we gave them a run for their money the entire game into the fourth quarter. That being said, like we said, Raptors, come on, man. It's like we talking about top 5 teams here. And Knicks is still considered one of the top 5 teams in the league, not just the East. So that's a win we gotta get, especially when we got our players like Jalen Brunson and Cat back on the court.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. It's looking real dope for the A, man. I'm excited to see what's to come for the rest of the season. And moving over into NFL, bro.
No. You don't think we're about to just slide away from that like that. There's one more topic we gotta have for basketball.
The Zion dunk? I'm not talking about it.
No, not the Zion dunk. shout out to Zion. I'm happy he's back on the floor and all that stuff. But he got to do more than that for me to talk about him. But we talking about your team now. We can't just skip off basketball and not talk about the champions. You know what I mean? The Boston Celtics. You know what I mean? So it's like before the season started, everybody was considering, Celtics automatic going to be the best team next season. Automatic. They're the most complete team. But right now, y'all looking like the third best team behind OKC and the Cleveland Cavaliers. How do you feel about that?
I think it's always, especially for the last couple of years, we haven't seen a repeat champ since the Warriors. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely hard in today's where no lead is safe to be the defending champion. Mm-hmm. Obviously, everybody's on your neck every game. Celtics is on a very difficult West Coast road trip right now. Mm-hmm. But I'm not mad at where we're at, bro. We're 27-10 right now. Mm-hmm. We're dealing with some things on the back end. A couple of day-to-days from our stars, from JT, from Porzingis as well. But I'm not mad at where we're at. It's still very much early in the season. I feel like we don't really have nothing to prove until we get deeper into the season. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like, come talk to me in April, basically, is what I'm saying. You feel me? Like, everybody could chat what they want. They were saying the same thing about us for the last, ever since we went on that run in probably 2020, 2021. Yeah. Feel me? They've been talking the same thing about the Celtics for the last couple of years. Like, they got to figure it out. They got to do this. They're not as good as they think they are. Whatever. Come talk to me in April, bro. Like, that's all I got to say about that, bro. I feel like I'm not worried about the Celtics right now.
Right now. Not saying later, but right now, who do you see in the finals?
Obviously, I'm going to put the Celtics there on the East, right? On the West, I like us against the Thunder, because I feel like we were them before. Mm-hmm. We were them 2, 3, 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be so great to see because they're both still very much young, mm-hmm. but we're the more experienced of that young tenure or that young team or whatever, that young energy. And it will definitely go 7, and it's going to be high scoring, high energy. Yeah. So I think Celtics versus the Thunder, we already know the drama that the Celtics versus the Rockets would bring. You feel me? That would be crazy to see. But honestly, bro, if I'm being real, and I'm putting my team to the side, seeing that Cavs versus OKC game last night, that kind of got me hyped, because that's like even Denver being in the finals. Yeah. You feel me? That was just, I like to see those fresh faces. And just that changing of the guards that we have in the A right now, it's really like a young man's game right now. We got a lot of young heavy hitters. It's not about Bron, KD, Steph, James Harden. It's not about them no more. Real talk, we're being honest. These young kids got it, and I feel like they deserve a chance to showcase their skills on the national stage.
Yeah, for sure. I would say for me, unbiased, after seeing that last night, I would say the Cavs for the East, and it might be a little too obvious to say OKC, but to be honest, I'm gonna say the Nuggets. Currently, right now. Yeah. Because the Nuggets has been on a roll, and to be honest, the only reason I'm saying the Nuggets right now is because Chet is injured. That's what I'm saying. If the finals was right now, and Chet Holmgren was still injured, mm-hmm. I'll give the Nuggets a little more. Maybe because it's I'm trying to figure out. Nuggets is still a big team. Mm-hmm. And, OKC is not considered a really big team, and during a 7-game stretch, that matters. Mm-hmm. You could probably figure that out the first game, maybe 2, but eventually that height advantage is gonna get to them. And then you got a dog like Westbrook
that's an OKC legend. He ain't gonna allow that. You know, so it's like, and then also Jokic is number 2 of being MVP behind SGA. But all due respect, I feel like in a 7-game series, the Nuggets could really give them their number. Only thing I can say is that Jokic is just a little bit too slow for these niggas. But there's nothing they can do to Jokic to stop him, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. So I'll say the Cavs and the Nuggets.
For sure. I like the Nuggets too, bro, and I would love Russ to get one, bro. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, and they're right now. I think they're 10-2 with Russ in the starting lineup. So
that's a fact, man. Shout out to Denver Nuggets, man. Send that 4 with 21-15 overall, and as you say, 10-2 with Russ leading the charge.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Shout out NBA, bro. Let's transition into football, cause we here. We at the wild card, my favorite time of the year. Man, you know tough to be a fan of them right now, but
there's a lot of drama going on.
A lot of drama going on right now, but like I said, I love wild card week because, as I said, tough to be a fan of the Giants right now, but that's how we made it. You feel me? Before.
For sure.
So wild card is always definitely interesting. You know, we got the Chiefs sitting at the top of the AFC. And we got the Lions sitting at the top of the NFC, going into a bye week right now, just preparing to watch everybody go to work. I think the one we have to talk about, of course, the Heat Rock, the prime time that we got to talk about, of course, is the Baltimore Ravens versus the New York Steelers. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. You feel me? Like, I wish there was a New York Steelers, bro. The Giants is pissing me off, but we're going to get into that. You feel me? Ravens going up against the Steelers on January 11th at 8 p.m. Ravens is coming off. It's kind of like the tail of the tape right here.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting, bro. Like, Ravens is coming off a 4-game winning streak, whereas the Steelers is coming off a 3-4-game losing streak. You feel me? They not looking so good right now.
Not at all.
But they weren't bad losses. They just didn't get it done.
Their record is just not looking good right now. Honestly, just gonna say a couple weeks ago, and mind you, I was a Steelers fan when I was a kid. I'm a Giants fan now, but I'm still kind of a Steelers fan too. If I had 2 teams, I would say the Giants and Steelers. But I kind of been leaning on the Steelers side a little more because, like he said, you got a lot of heart problems being a Giants and a Knicks fan a couple years ago. Thank God the Knicks just got better because I can't stand it with the Giants. Oh my God, my heart be. But I digress.
Yo, New York City football is in an interesting spot right now.
Yeah, Giants and Jets is absolutely. We're not even gonna talk about Jets and Aaron Rodgers, but we are gonna talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Bullshit.
For sure.
Yeah, as far as the Steelers, man, just think about it. 4 weeks ago, they were 10-2.
Yeah.
Now they're 10-7, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they had a phenomenal start. They was looking like the team that everybody was calling the sleeper.
Yeah.
Now they look like they went to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, so
crazy.
It's kind of insane because I actually really fuck with Coach Mike Tomlin, and I don't believe it's his fault at all. I feel like the team is just not figuring it out. George Pickens is I'm hearing is being very lethargic about like the plays and everything. He's not on the same page with Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson was being very efficient before, and now people saying they got to go back to benching on Russell Wilson and try out Justin Fields again to see if a new dynamic can like sway this around before everything is all over. Cause for them to now be playing the wild card is kind of insane. Everybody was just talking about it. They could possibly be a Super Bowl contender after shocking the world this year.
Myself included, dog.
You know, it's like nobody was expecting them to be 10-2. Now they're 10-7.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Crazy vibes, dogs, man. I definitely got Baltimore going over on this one. I feel like they're very much overdue, especially like falling to the Chiefs a couple of years ago. I feel like Lamar wants it. He's very much in pace in a MVP caliber season. They're doing their thing. So, you know, I got the Ravens going over on that one, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I have them going over. I have about Lamar Jackson about like 250 yards plus. To be honest, he and I say about 80 rushing yards, and I'm probably just lowballing it. You know.
You feel me? We got the Texans facing the Chargers. I got the Texans going over on that one, and we got the Bills going against the Broncos. I gotta roll with the only New York football team doing their thing right now, man. So shout out the Bills, man. Let's get it done.
Yeah, shout out to the fucking Bills. Shout out to Josh Allen. He's having a phenomenal year. Phenomenal year. If it wasn't for people like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, you know, Saquon Barkley, he would be on top of that MVP list. But
for sure,
that just goes to show how much talent that we have around going in the L. And
sure.
Speaking of Saquon Barkley, they actually have a game too as well against the Green Packers, who's also doing pretty well right now. There's one game that I am actually looking forward to because it's against two teams that's very surprisingly doing well right now, and that's the Buccaneers and the Commanders. Shout out to the Commanders. Shout out to
the Commanders, bro.
Shout out to Jaden Daniels. He easily rookie of the year. Easily. Like, nobody expected for him to be taking his team to the playoffs, especially after all these years. They haven't had much fortune for a little while.
Since RG3, brother.
Yeah, for him to put him back on the map, you know, like in phenomenal fashion. And he's actually displaying that he's also going to be one of these dual threat players in the league as well. So we might be seeing like a young, you know, Lamar Jackson in our hands. You know, once he gets his feet a little wet more inside the industry.
For sure, man. I definitely, I'm with you on that. I got the Commanders going over against the Bucks. Just I know the Bucks got more experience, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Commanders this season. You feel me? Definitely rooting for them this season. Also, we got the LA Rams going up against the Vikings. Before we even talk about this, bro, prayers up for everybody in LA. I don't know if you've been seeing everything going on with the wildfires out there.
Yeah, for sure. Even my favorite player, Kawhi Leonard, he had to step off the next game because he got news about the fires and everything. He actually lives around that area with his family. He had to go make sure they're okay. So shout out to everybody in sports and life, period, that's involved in the LA. I hope you and your families are well.
Praise up for everybody in LA for sure, man. The Rams is going up against the Vikings January 13th at 8 p.m. prime time.
It's gonna be another great game.
Vikings, bro. I got, respect to the Rams, but I got the Vikings in that one, bro.
The Vikings is going.
Vikings have not disappointed me this season at all. They're playing very great football.
They're playing as a complete team for real. Like, their offense is insane. Defense is looking better than it was last year. Their field goal percentage is higher. All their numbers are higher, and they've always been a good team, but they're really showing that they can be one of the top ones. And if you're not careful, they can actually take it all the way to the top.
That's a fact, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, so we gotta talk about the WWE. We gotta talk about Raw on Netflix. You feel me? Monday Night Raw has transitioned, moving from cable network television for the past 32 years, I believe. Going into the streaming era, actually like piloting that, a lot of we do have like AEW and TNA, following suit. AEW is on HBO Max and everything like that, but Raw definitely going on Netflix is a great look. But we did have like 4 great wrestling matches that night, bro. We had the Tribal Chief again, the original Tribal Chief Roman Reigns going over on his cousin Solo Sikoa to win back the Ulafala and the Tribal Chief status. The Rock came out and presented him with the Ulafala to let him know that, you're the head of the family again, you're the head of the table. Really good look, really big moment. We had Rhea Ripley going over on Liv Morgan to win back her women's championship. And just like we were talking about women's hoops, bro, women's wrestling I ain't gonna lie. I just started tapping in with wrestling again, probably like the last maybe year and a half.
Yeah.
Women's wrestling, it's at such a good spot right now because their athleticism is finally being showcased and recognized, bro.
I used to watch that with the door closed.
You for real, and that's what it was back in the day. Like really, like we had talented wrestlers back in the day. We had the Trish Statuses, we had the Leaders, we had the Michelle McCools. We had such good talent back in the day, but they were being used more for eye candy than their actual talent. You feel me? So I'm glad that the women are getting like a real good look on both shows, on Raw and SmackDown. They actually have women's tag team championships now.
That's fine.
And they also like extended it to the fact where they have like the mid-card championships. So the women, they got an intercontinental championship and the United States championship now. So it's so many like great talent on the roster right now, which is why wrestling is so lit.
Yeah.
But the women are really like doing their thing. You feel me?
That's great to hear, man. To be honest, I can't ask for everybody. Everybody know, like I can't really speak too much on the modern day era of wrestling because I haven't like stayed up to date to it. But don't get me wrong, I used to be a huge wrestling fan to the point that like, you couldn't tell me nothing. Yeah. I used to beg my mother for all the pay-per-views and everything back in the day.
$50 a pop.
Yeah.
Remember them days?
Crazy. I used to stay up late, just record them shit just to rewatch the fights all over again. Right. Every single shit. You know, I used to be real strict on like the whole like Team SmackDown or Team Raw. Right. I had damn near every wrestling game that came out from Nintendo 64 all the way to PS3. Right. You know, so it's definitely good to see where wrestling is now. See the platform that it has. Shout out to Dwayne "The Rock" officially Johnson, you know, and Triple H for being the owners to take over like the establishment after everything McMahon and everything had built throughout the years. Right. It's great to see that it's within good hands. And it's only gonna get bigger. I seen The Rock talk about it on First Take about how he wants to make sure this establishment becomes worldwide. That's not just a national thing. He wants to take it to international places like Vegas and go like off the country. You know, go to have wrestling matches in Dubai and stuff like that. Yeah. I think that would really help bring a lot of the culture together and a lot more talent could be displayed. So yeah, shout out to the men, shout out to the women that really put their bodies on line every day for it. Cause that's for sure. As much as they like to call it fake or whatever, it is predetermined. But everything that they're doing is very much real. It is worldwide right now. The women's champion Rhea Ripley, she's from Australia, and they had an event out there last year when she was champion before. Did crazy numbers. They go to Saudi Arabia on the reg, and they're talking about, I mean, for the longest time, the UK's been wanting to get like a WrestleMania event, so that's definitely in the cards the next couple of years. Yeah. So, you know, wrestling's in a good spot right now, man, and just with events like this, with Raw being on Netflix and them kicking that off, like over the whole world could see it at the same time, right? And all those celebrities being in the building at the same time, like put a special spotlight on it, you feel me? Like, I want to say something about that too, that I want to piggyback to what you said about like how shit's pre-scripted and, you know, all that stuff. Like, yes, nigga, we get it. We get that it's pre-script, right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, wrestling feel like had a bad name because of that for a lot of years, but as you can see, a lot of fans don't give a fuck. And then to what I have to say about that, what is the difference between watching wrestling and watching a pre-script show like Squid Game? Right, same thing, literally. Same shit. The only difference is it's act live. Right. That's the only difference. It's the same thing that they used to do back in shows when they did have a live performing audience. You know, same shit. Right. So I would say before like discrediting it, you gotta give it a chance and really feed into the characters and their stories, and you can see why people really enjoy this for decades ago. Really though, it's really like a drama centered around the wrestling matches, but
So is TV, dogs. Like, so
Same thing.
I love wrestling. You can never tell me nothing about it, bro. But man, I've been a lifelong fan. Like, my first match was watching The Rock at Survivor Series 1996.
Yeah.
Been hooked ever since then. You feel me? I got my little fall off moments where I might be into the A a little bit more, the L a little bit more, or like just off TV completely. But I always find my way back to pro wrestling, bro. So definitely, I love where it's at right now, bro. We had Travis Scott coming out, arguably one of the greatest ring entrances I've seen of all time. And I grew up with The Undertaker, my nigga. I grew up with Triple H. I grew up with all these guys. But Travis Scott coming out with main event Jey Uso and lighting a spliff in the crowd was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my fucking life, bro. I lost my shit in the crib. Yeah, bro. Like, shout out Travis Scott. You feel me?
Shout out Travis Scott.
And then also the WWE, like, honoring the fact that he uses the name Cactus Jack as well, you feel me? And just, like, making him, like, officially a part of that universe and everything like that. So real good luck on that.
Yeah, I've noticed for the last couple of years, even Triple H spoke on it a lot. Like, you see a lot of artists, a lot of rappers, like, feeding into, you know, everything that had to do with their franchise. But if you think about it, a lot of those artists like ourselves, because we are also artists. A lot of them used to be fans just like us, watching those same lovable characters that we loved. You know, the Undertakers, the Kanes, the Rocks, the Stone Colds, the Rikishis, the CM Punks, you know, like all the Chris Jericho, all those people, and many more. Shout out to Edge too. You know, so it's like Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. All right, let me stop. But
Latino heat, bro.
Yeah.
My God, for sure.
But yeah, so it's like a lot of these people were fans as well when it was our age, and then we all around the same age. So you gotta think about it, all from the same generation. It's like seeing these people grow and then they finally get success and be able to be a part of it. It's a huge deal. You know, so if I was ever like to, not even if, I don't like to use the word if, but when we ever get up and shit, I wouldn't mind doing a nice little contract show match, whatever.
Oh, I'm in there, bro. I'm doing that, bro. I know it right now, bro. My Swanton bomb is still strong, bro. Like, I'm in there. Like, the main event for that night was CM Punk, my man's having his first match on Raw in just over a decade, going over against like the visionary Seth Rollins. You feel me? Great match, 10 out of 10, bro. I loved it. They got like, that's what I'm saying, the drama. Like, they got like real beef outside of like wrestling, outside of that square circle. They got like real beef for real. So it was great seeing that translate in the ring. And how much they're respectful about it. You feel me? Like, though they got real issues in the public, once that bell rings, professional, and they got their shit off, man. It was a great main event. CM Punk went over.
Yeah, I'm sure they both slipped a real punch out here and there.
Of course. Like, definitely. One of the highlights of that night was Hulk Hogan coming out and doing a little segment, but you know, those of us like who know, we know Hulk Hogan has been on record. I don't know if you know, like,
shout out to my nigga with the hard on.
Shout out to the brother. Shout out to the brother, bro, for sure. That was a very clever way to get that shit off. But we know what you've been wanting to say for the past 40 years. Yeah, Hulk Hogan, basically they booed that man out of the building. Like, as soon as they heard that music hit, the fans was not with it. They did not let that man get his shit off. He tried to come out with the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, to kind of like lighten the mood a little bit. You feel me? I see the swindle. Fans fuck with Jimmy, but we don't fuck with you, brother. Real talk. So, you know, I'm glad that the fans held their ground and let Hulk Hogan know that, yeah, we do respect you. You feel me? We know what you did for pro wrestling, but it's F you at the end of the day, bro. Like, we don't want to hear from you no more. We good on you. Shout out to my man John Cena, who made an appearance that night. You feel me? It's John Cena's last year, which is why I gotta say, like, we have to go to a wrestling event this year, bro. Cause we gotta see that live, bro, for sure. But John Cena came out and officially kicked off his retirement tour, and made an announcement in about 3 weeks. He's gonna be entering the Royal Rumble, which is
big deal.
That's a big deal, bro. Because if he wins that, then he could go on to main event yet another WrestleMania, and then possibly capture a 17th World Championship, which would put him at the all-time record just above Ric Flair. So anything can happen in the wrestling world, but that was definitely a good look seeing John Cena. I love his
man, they writing that script as we speak.
Bro. John Cena, he got a fresh new shirt and everything. You already know how he give it up.
They writing that script as we speak. He said, we gonna make you the greatest, bro.
Yeah, bro. Man, shout out John Cena. To this day, one of the hardest albums I ever heard. John Cena could rap his ass off. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Shit, man. Overall, 10 out of 10. I love what I saw from Raw on Netflix. Shout out to the NXT doing their shit on Tuesday nights. You feel me? The Rock made an appearance over there. His daughter is actually running that show, NXT. So it's kind of cool to watch. Shout out AEW too and TNA. I don't be tapping in too much, but
random question.
What up?
If you had to start a rap group, right? I mean, a music group right now. You got to start off with John Cena, Will Smith. Who you taking?
Will Smith, bro. What are you talking about?
Will Smith.
Yeah.
I don't know. John Cena got bars too. I was just saying.
Will Smith went platinum multiple times. What are you talking about? Like,
that's a fact, but I feel like because Will Smith also had, popularity as well. John Cena. And also he's kind of white. People didn't really take him seriously. You know what I mean?
I get you.
It's like I feel like it's a difference. It's like Will Smith. He's a lovable guy. Oh, he raps now too. Oh shit. And he's black too. You're gonna take him more seriously. John Cena, wrestler, white guy. You're not gonna take him seriously right off the bat.
I feel like with Will, he was on as a rapper before he was an actor. Like him and Jazzy Jeff was doing their thing in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? They got the first rap Grammy and all of that. But I feel like because they're both very talented, I feel like they both get a bad rap and they're very talented in their own rights. I give Will Smith the edge only because John Cena has only that one album, and it's kind of a collab album. Like he did it with his cousin. You feel me? So half the work was alleviated for you, whereas Jazzy Jeff did the production on Will Smith shit, and he had to carry that whole shit himself, including hooks, including mad ideas. In an era where you had to do 3 verses, I get an edge to Will Smith.
I get you. I feel like you can't be mad. I would say Will Smith, but you can't be mad at taking either. Especially I've heard both of them in their most recent freestyles. They both still got it.
Oh man, I gotta listen to that Will shit. I ain't gonna hold you. I heard he was wilding in a car or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And the only reason I give John Cena just a slighter edge, because he's willing to take it there if he has to. He will use a curse word if he has to.
Yeah. But Will cursing a little bit now though.
Yeah, just a little.
He cussing. I heard Will.
He curses, but when he raps, does he curse?
For the most part, nah.
Yeah.
For the most part, nah. In his freestyles now, I've seen snippets of the freestyles on social media, and I hear him dropping the F-bomb a little bit, just normal shit that I don't really hear from Will and his music.
Okay, he getting a little loose with his words now.
For sure,
he was real strict about that shit.
Rightfully so, bro, and I love that from Will as a youngin', growing up. That as a rapper, that helped my pen, before I was really old. I started rapping when I was 14 for real. So at that time, I didn't know if I would be believable if I was just cussing OD in every record. So I challenged myself, because I heard people like Will Smith to never use profanity for a long. I just started using profanity in my raps in 2018, bro.
For me, it was just more as challenging myself in a way that I can write something without using filler words.
Right.
That was just more, it's just alright, instead of trying to get a cop out and saying fuck or nigga or shit, let me actually, but I learned a lot of, because I grew up listening to a lot of Eminem, and obviously, use the N-word, so I start off saying like, let me try to rap without using the word nigga first. And then once I started not using the word nigga, I was like, all right, let me stop using curse words. And then from then on, it just, you know.
It just flows, man. You definitely got to challenge yourself with your pen, you know? Like, I hear a lot of youngins coming up and rapping today, especially with the drill shit. It's just, it's kind of tough for me being an adult and hearing like a youth dog just like going crazy with their rhymes. I feel like there's no thought to what you're actually saying. Those words are literally just filler. And you just trying to get a buzz or whatever. So I challenge every artist coming up, like, yo, do your thing without all the extraness. You feel me? You could say that, but if you're gonna say it in a clever way. Say it in the right way.
No, they just say it directly. They just say like some shit like, yo, fuck your bitch and I'll shoot out your ops. Like, you know, like, you know, like they don't even try to say it clever. Like, they just say it straight to the point. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's cool, but it's like, the next artist is gonna say that too. Yeah, bro. Like, I don't want to listen to that. It's like on 12 p.m. in the coffee shop.
Yeah, it don't sound like rapping. It just sound like straight threats, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But we gonna get into that all in these next coming episodes, bro. We got a lot of great stuff coming off on this pod, bro. We got music. We got arts, we got entertainment, we're going to be talking about sports, we're going to talk about culture, of course, especially as things keep happening, bro. We seen what happened at the top of last year with Cat setting everything off. So we're going to see what this year has in store for us, you feel me? We're going to talk about it.
We started this year with Cat setting it off, you feel me?
Yeah, for sure, man. So we got a Cat in New York setting it off, and we got Cat the comedian just... He's somewhere, you feel me? Somewhere doing something.
He's waiting to tell on somebody.
Nah, he waiting to tell the truth. That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to Cat, bro. But we got a lot of great stuff coming, and we got a lot of good food coming, bro. Shout out to CBX and what we doing over here. Before we even rap together, bro, we met each other as chefs. So
this guy could cook.
This guy could cook, bro. Like, so. Yeah, we got a lot of good food, bro, man. We're gonna be bringing that to y'all real soon, bro. Stay tuned.
That's a big fact. You know, the food is definitely gonna be a huge part on us, cause like we were speaking on earlier. It's like I take my food just as serious as a lot of things, you know, cause it's like that's an art in itself, you know, and I love bringing that up. But we're gonna be showcasing a lot. Definitely want to showcase some of our music as well. Give y'all a little sneak peeks here and there. We're having some new ideas with segments and everything. Hopefully next episode we can have our guy Brandon and our guy Quest here. We'll get to introduce them to y'all whenever, you know, they get to show their faces and everything. But until then, you know, it's your guy from CBX, whatever this is, you know. This Dizzy Reid, Dizzy Vision.
Dizzy Reid, Budha Sage, feel me? Whatever this is, bro.
We don't feel sorry.
We don't feel sorry, bro. We out, man. It's a wrap. Feel me? Episode 1, bro. Shout out you, my guy. Yeah, we did it, bro. Yes, sir. Oh, shit. Yeah, man.
We gonna edit that.
Yeah. Stay us.